Hey fellow backyard boyers, Nick here. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make a really simple and effective archery point. This can be used for homemade targets, for field archery, and it really excels for stump shooting because it actually helps protect arrows from breakage. So here are the points, and these are actually based off of a point designed by Justin Garnett of basketmaker@lattle.com. Now he actually designed these for use on atlatl darts because it can be very difficult to find or make points large enough for atlatl darts, and using archery points on atlatl darts can usually lead to a lot of breakage. The points usually break off because the transition is so small. Well, if you change the size of the nails he uses, which I've done here, these actually work really well for arrows, and I've been doing extensive testing on these, and they work really well. I'm really excited to show these to you guys because while these nails can be difficult to find in all places, these can be changed out for just about anything. The secret is this ferrule here, which is made out of PEX pipe, and so Justin calls these his PEX piles. You could use any type of polyethylene tubing, and you can find polyethylene tubing just about anywhere. And by using this as your ferrule, you can use almost anything. Nails, pieces of metal, anything with a little bit of weight to it, and you've got yourself a really good homemade field point, or archery point. First, you're going to need some nails. Now these are called cut or square nails because they're actually cut from sheet rather than made from wire. These nails are commonly used for masonry because they don't split material like wire nails can. Now these particular nails are 1.5 inch 4D size nails. This particular size makes a really good arrow point. They come in at around 120 grains. Now there are different sizes. You can sometimes find smaller sizes than this, which will yield a lighter point, and larger sizes which will yield a heavier point. I find that this particular size is the best because it has the best friction fit inside of the ferrule we're going to be using, and it also holds up really well. Some of the larger points tend to cause a lot of bending and flexing in the ferrule, which, while is fine, it's another thing you have to watch out for. Now if you can't find these nails, and they can usually be had at most hardware stores, but if you can't find them, pretty much any nail or screw or bolt which will fit into the PEX tubing makes a great point. Next, you're going to need a 1/4 inch diameter PEX or PEX pipe. Now, PEX or cross-linked polyethylene is really tough stuff, and it's a lot like PVC in the way it forms and shapes. When you heat this or flatten it or shape it, heating it again will return it to its original shape, and that's really useful because you can use these again and again, put them on multiple arrows, switch them out, repair them in the field, and they're really flexible that way. Now if you can't get PEX pipe, you can use just about any polyethylene based tubing, though other types of polyethylene aren't as easily worked, though they can make a good point. Cut a piece of the pipe 1.5 inches long. One of the nice things about polyethylene is that it can be easily cut with a knife. Now I suggest having some sort of heat protection. A glove like this will really help in this next step as we're going to be handling this hot pipe. The first thing you want to do is just heat this pipe up. I'm going to be using my heat gun. Alright, now that the pipe is soft enough, you want to squish it down with your gloved hand and push the end of the nail into the pipe. You want to push it down a little more than 1/4 of an inch. Now go ahead and heat the front end. Heating the front end will actually bring it down and close it around the front of the nail, securing it in place. And now we're going to put the point on an arrow. But first I like to cut a taper. This doesn't have to be an exact taper, you could just whittle this down with a knife. It does help if the taper is centered, but it's really not that important. If you don't want to cut a taper, you don't have to. And you're also going to need some sort of adhesive. I'm using hot melt glue. It's really nice, easy to apply and easy to take off. So first you want to heat up your glue and just apply a little bit to the point of your arrow. And now we're going to heat up the back end of this point until it's pliable, and then we're going to put it over the point. Here we go. Alright, now just press the point on, and then you just kind of want to pull it down a little bit. You don't want to stretch the pipe, but we're just getting it centered and helping it seat itself. So once you've got it on there, just kind of spin the arrow a little bit so you can make sure you've got it centered. There we go. The point's attached and ready to go. Now, one of the things I really like about this point is that the plastic actually makes it flexible. This may seem like a bad thing at first, but what that actually means is that when you hit something hard, the point will deform rather than allow the arrow shaft to break. It's really gentle on arrow shafts. So to demonstrate this, I'm going to be shooting 2 arrows at those bricks over there. I've got a regular field point and the PEX point, or the PEX pile that we made. So I'm going to start off with the field point. I'm going to be shooting them out of a 50-pound longbow. Alright, here's the field point. And as you can see, there is no field point. Snap clean off at the transition. So, now here's the PEX pile. Now, as you can see, it's still attached, and the arrow shaft is still sound. You see the point is kind of deformed. Well, if you just do a little bit of hand adjustment, and it's ready to fly again. Now ideally you'd want to go back and heat this up a little bit and just kind of reshape it just a tad, but you could still shoot this, and you could shoot this all day and it'd be fine. So I really like these for stump shooting. You can shoot rocks, it really doesn't make a difference, and these have just become my favorite all-around points. Plus they're really inexpensive, especially compared to a lot of specialty stumping points. Now, there's lots of things that you can do with this style of ferrule. You can actually make really nice blunts and other types of points. So just wanted to show this to you guys. I think this is a really great way for people in places where you can't easily get archery equipment to make your own points. And these work really good on targets. And you do want to check with, if you're going to a club or an archery range, just make sure that they're okay with you shooting these at their targets. They may not be, but you know, for your own targets at home, these are great. And if you're just shooting in the backyard, these are really good as well. So here it is. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.